Testing, testing. Whoops, my ring light. Oh, that's attractive. Ooh. Jaundice, that's a good look. I don't know why they just don't have an elderly setting. All right, let's see if anyone's waiting. Look how many people are watching and with us. Wow, not bad for little old us. All right then. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for coming to our little virtual putting on a play process from start to finish. I brought you in first to give you the lay of the land before I bring in the cast. They actually think they'll be here first before you. But I thought that would be fun for you to see everything from the time they enter, to see the camaraderie and all that. And then I'll let them know you're actually watching. Devious, sure. But if you're going to be watching the process from start to finish, then let's go all the way. Tonight's part of that is the cast gathering for the first time, and then reading our little play, which is a thriller of sorts. Then, over the next week, we'll rehearse, and then, of course, you'll be there for the play itself, and right here, safe and sound, in the comfort of your own homes. So, let's meet the cast, shall we? I'll just let them in now. Well, that's 5 of us. Where are the other 3? 6 down, 2 to go. We can all laugh at them because we're on time and they aren't. Full house. Welcome, you lovely people.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
You and a beard. Can't get used to it.
Me either. Why should I shave? I don't go anywhere. I don't see anyone. I haven't been out of my house in 9 months. Everything's delivered. Who needs a life? Who needs to shave? Who needs to put on deodorant?
You.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
Howdy.
We can always count on you to be different.
Yeah, someone has to be different. It may as well be me.
And as soon as someone enables her mic, we'll be good to go. Waiting.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. All right, we're all here. I'll take over the sound from here and mute whoever's not talking when we start reading the play.
Oh, you're so manipulative.
That's me. Anyway, hopefully we won't have Zoom issues, but if we do, just be patient and we'll get it sorted out. Cast, you all know each other, except for our new member who is also our author, who will also be reading one of the roles. So meet Bill Foster.
Hey, Bill.
Hey,
Hi,
Bill.
Bill.
Hi.
Hey all, thanks so much for doing this. Very exciting for this first timer, and especially thanks to our leader for agreeing to nurture my baby. My very first play.
Now, before we start, as you know, this process is being observed by an audience. Kind of a nice bonus to our subscribers, and fun for us and Bill to get a reaction to the piece and let them see how this all works.
Shit, should I put on deodorant?
You're fine.
Really? The dog won't even come near me. But enough about me.
But we don't see them, right? They're just out there in Zoom land.
Right. They can see and hear you, but you don't see them. And they're here already. I let them in before you so they could have fun seeing how we all are when we're just by ourselves.
Geez, what if we behave like assholes? Like we usually do. Hi, audience.
Hey, audience. This is why we all revere our fearless leader, because he's so duplicitous and evil.
Is this allowed? Does Equity allow this? Does SAG allow this?
Of course, we're a membership company. We get to do anything we want.
I knew that, but I just wanted to say it.
Audience, it was all discussed beforehand. We knew you were going to be here, and it's kind of nerve-wracking and a little scary, but also fun. Sorry, I need some lemon. It cuts the phlegm.
Ooh, TMI.
I have chips.
Well, hopefully you're not going to eat them during the reading. Save them for after.
I'll try. Low blood sugar, you know?
And might I add, for the benefit of our unseen audience, that we don't get paid? We do this because we love doing it. What do we need with money during a pandemic when we haven't been able to earn any for a year?
Well, this is a good time to mention that this is a fundraiser of sorts. Admission is free, of course, but we do encourage donations if you have the wherewithal to make them. All right, I think that takes care of all our preamble stuff. Everyone have their scripts ready? Good. Now, audience, this is a first-time read-through, so it may not be smooth. We may fumfer or mess up, and you're not going to see performances, really. This is just to hear the play. And the fact is, the actors just got the scripts a few minutes ago. So, with that in mind, let's begin.
Oh, and just a general author note, if you could please say the lines as written without paraphrasing your stuff, that would be much appreciated and very helpful.
Okay, I thought for a minute he said Gentile author note.
That works too.
Lucky it wasn't genital author note.
We can always count on you to always take that one step over the line. All right, I'll be reading the stage directions, so here we go. Revenge, a thriller in one act by Bill Foster. The other characters are Sam Benson, a playwright in his 30s. Our own playwright Bill will be reading that role.
Ooh, how meta.
Jill Barnes, an actress and member of a theater company.
That's who I'll be playing.
Nancy Parnin, another actress.
That's me.
Peter Devlin, an actor.
That'd be me.
Victoria Harris, another member of the theater company.
Here. Wait, this isn't school. Yes, I'm reading the role of Victoria Harris.
Dick Sampson, which I'll be reading. Gracie Doherty, another actress in the company.
I'm playing Gracie.
Barry Jameson, another actor in the company.
Well, that's me.
Now, audience, just so it's not too confusing, remember that the play we're reading is about a group of actors gathered together to hear about a new play. So it's kind of a play within a play. And here we go. Act 1, Scene 1. The living room of playwright Sam Benson. It's not a large living room, but there's a sofa, 2 armchairs, and some folding chairs set up. It's not fancy, and there is nothing about the furnishing that's in any way memorable. At Rise, the entire cast is seated on the couch and on various chairs. Sam is standing in front of them all.
You may be wondering why I've gathered you all here together.
Well, to read your play. We all know that. That's why we're here.
Well, Dick, not exactly. We're here to discuss the play, the reasons I wrote it, what my hopes are, and why it's personal to me, and why I came to your theater company, why I joined up.
I'm confused. So we're not reading the play?
I don't really like table readings where actors sit around mumbling the lines and messing up and not acting at all. Who does that serve? Certainly not the author, and certainly not the play.
Well, whatever. You're the author.
Well, at least tell us what it's about. We don't even know the title.
Of course, that's why we're here. What it's about will all become clear in due time. The play is called Revenge, and it's a thriller.
Good title.
Thrillers always do well for us. No one ever wants to do them, but then we do them and we sell out for the entire run.
Shakespeare never sells out.
That's because we always do weird productions of Shakespeare that nobody in their right mind would want to see. I know, I've directed a couple. Remember that Hamlet set in the used car dealership in Brooklyn? To be or not to be? Yo, that is the question.
Please, we promised we'd never talk about that again.
So, Sam, tell us about the play or whatever. We're all anxious to hear about it.
Well, it's my first play, and they say write what you know. So I wrote what I know. I've been working on this for some time now. I got the idea a couple of years ago, worked out the plot, and it's taken me a year to write it. Some of it came easily, some didn't, and it took me quite a while to work out the ending. Still not sure I have it.
And why us? Why did you come to our theater company?
I needed a 99-seat theater membership company. I went around town and saw productions at several, and there was just something about your theater and your actors that was a cut above. Really enjoyed what I saw here. Contacted Dick, he suggested I join, which I did, and he said you guys are always interested in new plays, and here we are.
So we're your guinea pigs with your firstborn.
I guess you could put it that way.
Good, because I put it that way.
And
And is always a key word, isn't it? Anyway, I'm pretty pleased with the play. Although until you hear plays out loud with actors reading, you never really know how the dialogue will flow, how the thing will play.
But you said you don't like table readings where actors sit around and mumble and screw up.
Well, I've been an actor too, so I get all that. But I'm not sure what the optimal situation is to hear a play out loud for the first time, when no one knows the characters or plot or anything. A bit of a conundrum, really.
That's always the way with the new stuff. We go through that all the time, but everyone here is very supportive, and we're not too judgmental.
Oh, yes, we are. We're totally judgmental. I feel judged all the time, even now, just sitting here. I feel you're all judging me. I'm kidding. Not really. Are you judging me? I'll shut up now.
It's hard for writers, though, to be judged.
It's hard for anyone. But yes, we try to be positive in our critiques, and the writers we've worked with have all said it's been a good and positive experience even when we've asked for changes. But that's the process wherever you go with new work.
Well, it's all new to me, this process. You know how writers are. We think every word we put on paper is perfect. We slave over it, we think and rewrite and redo. And then people read it and make with the comments. And when you open the floor for comments like that, everyone thinks they're suddenly Ben Brantley or John Simon and slash you to ribbons.
Well, I hope we don't slash people to ribbons, but it happens with actors too. It's the game. It's the way it is.
But in the end, who do you trust? Who do you listen to? What comments are valid and what comments should be discarded? And what if the powers that be insist on changes you don't agree with? What then? I'm not saying any of that will happen here, but it's always what goes through a writer's mind, I think. No?
Of course, sure. But it's how things work, especially for first-time playwrights.
I think we should just read the thing.
Absolutely. We're all here, and it doesn't really do much good to just hear about the play.
We'll get to it. For sure.
Tonight? 2 weeks from now? The 12th of never? Or are you just going to tell us all about it or read it to us yourself?
No, we're not judgmental at all, as you can plainly see. Smiley face.
Well, why don't you tell us about the play, Sam? Or should we do cookies and soda first?
Ooh, nobody told me about cookies and soda. I'm good with that.
Let's hold off on the cookies and soda for now. So, if this play were a Netflix movie, it would start with one of those title cards that said, based on real-life events.
So it's autobiographical? Your life was a thriller?
Well, I didn't say it was autobiographical. I said it was based on real-life events.
So it isn't autobiographical? It's just based on something that really happened?
I didn't say it wasn't autobiographical either.
Well, spit it out, man, really. What is it you've written?
A thriller based on real-life events that do happen to be somewhat autobiographical. Let's just say thinly veiled fiction.
Phew, well, glad we got that straight.
Okay, this is weird. I just have to say it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have that line in my script.
Me either.
It's not a line. I'm saying this is weird. Me, the real me, not the character.
What's weird?
Are these characters we're reading us? They seem like us, like you've written us. I don't get it.
It'll all come clear. Can we continue?
I guess. But it's weird.
We're supposed to be reading straight through, not interrupting. Anyway, weird is good. Keeps the audience guessing.
It's keeping me guessing, certainly.
Sorry, audience, but this is part of the process sometimes, these little diversions and detours. Let's pick up from where we left off.
Right, I think that's me.
Here, I'll give you your cue again. A thriller based on real-life events that do happen to be somewhat autobiographical. Let's just say thinly veiled fiction.
Whew, glad we got that straight.
Go on, we're all ears.
This play is about a murder, hence a thriller, but not a conventional murder.
Is murder ever conventional? Asking for a friend.
Shh, let's get on with it.
Thank you. Anyway, it's about a murder, but not in the usual sense, not an actual murder where someone is killed.
If someone is murdered, doesn't it follow that they've been killed?
No, and that's the point of the play. There are other kinds of murder. Murder that doesn't kill.
Like what?
Murder in the abstract. The murder of a person's soul, their confidence, their life. Murder most foul, where a person has his spirit snuffed because of either a premeditated or thoughtless deed. Murder where a person becomes the living dead.
Like Night of the Living Dead or The Walking Dead?
No, of course not. Those are stupid zombie things. I'm talking about real life here. That's what the play is about. The kind of abstract murder and the victim's revenge on the person who caused it.
That's actually pretty interesting as a concept.
I agree. It's very different.
I like it too.
I tell you, if the play lives up to how you're describing it, it could really work.
Thanks. I hope you'll find that it works.
But you said it was autobiographical, or somewhat autobiographical, or thinly veiled, whatever. So whatever you're talking about really happened? To you or someone you know?
Well, that's the tale, isn't it? Did it happen to me or someone I know? Yes. That's the tale.
I hope the play itself is more succinct than you're being right now.
Color me intrigued.
Color me curious.
What are we, crayons? I want to read it.
Patience.
Patience. This group?
I'm really glad you brought this to us.
It was an easy choice, actually. You're all kind of perfect for it. So easy to cast it.
This is exciting.
So let me give you the gist of it, if I may.
I like gist, but I still don't understand why we can't just read it.
The simple answer is I'm still futzing with the ending. Still not sure it quite works yet. As soon as I'm happy with it, then we can have our reading and then hopefully just dive in and do the production.
Well, let's see how the reading goes. A production is something else.
I know, I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'm fairly certain you'll want to do it.
All right then, the gist. Give us the gist because you can see we're all intrigued about the gist.
Well then, here it is. The gist. Once upon a time, many years ago, there was a young man and a young woman. The young man was quite taken with the young woman. The young woman was very flirtatious with the young man, but that was in the young woman's nature, apparently. She led the young man down the garden path, so to speak, with her flirtatious behavior. The young man, reacting to the flirting, became smitten with the young woman. The more flirtatious she was, the more smitten he became. The young man and the young woman had a meal or two together. They went to a play or two together. They laughed together and had fun together. They seemed to get along together. But despite all of that, despite all of the flirting, the leading on, the fun, in certain ways she remained aloof, like when he'd go to hold her hand in public, or put his arm around her in public, or kiss her in private, or take things further. She always found a way to not let any of that happen. For the young man, it was frustrating, but he was, by this time, so smitten that he'd put up with it, thinking it would have to change. Was he persistent? Some might think so. Too persistent? Perhaps, but who wouldn't be with all that flirtation and leading on? Finally, things did go further. But was she just humoring him? Did she allow things to go further because he was wearing her down? Or was she doing it because she was genuinely wanting to finally have a relationship with the young man? The latter was probably a long shot, since her flirtatious ways were in abundance with any number of young men, and even some not so young men. This was, of course, upsetting to the young man, but young men who are smitten and perhaps addicted to someone don't always see clearly. And then one evening it all came to a head. The young woman showed her true colors. When the young man suggested they might make it more serious than the diversion it so obviously was, at least for the young woman, she began laughing. Laughing with derision, it seemed to the young man. He was greeted with an outpouring of invective, the likes of which he'd never seen or heard. It was so vicious, in fact, so unrelenting, in fact, that the young man couldn't find the words to respond. Not only insults to his looks, his personality, his intelligence, and the young woman's words. How could the young man seriously suggest he was anything but a charity case? Someone she took pity on. Someone she should never have given the time of day to, but also insults to his sexual performance, physical size. Micro was the word the young woman used. Such a charming word when used in that context. Such a word that cuts to the quick, that murders the self-esteem, that, how should I put it, deflates the ego. She did this not in person, but on the telephone, telling the young man to not contact her again, telling him that she wanted nothing further to do with such a loser, someone she found pathetic. After which she hung up. The young man sat there in a state of shock, shaking, angry, hurt, appalled. Over the next few days, his anger and depression grew to not micro, but epic proportions. He attempted to call the young woman, but when she'd answer, he could do nothing but hang up. After all, what could he say? Over the next weeks, he drove to the young woman's apartment, followed her, watched as she went out with a plethora of other young men, laughing, happy, flirtatious, even from where he sat in the car, fuming and furious from afar. Depression turned to rage. Rage turned to thoughts of suicide. And he sought out a therapist who was at least a little helpful enough to get him past his thoughts of suicide, if not the rage. Nothing helped the rage. But inside he was dead. Inside, she'd murdered every part of his spirit, his confidence, his very being. He would, from that moment on, never trust anyone again. While he made vain attempts to date, those vain attempts were just that. Vain attempts that went nowhere. And over the years, that never changed. What changed was his realization that at some point his rage would never abate. His rage needed to turn to revenge. Revenge that would finally put all this to rest. Revenge that would close the book on this angel of his destruction. Revenge that would give him closure. He would have his day in court, as it were, with him being judge, jury, and executioner. The need for revenge consumed him. It was ever present. It never went away. He was simply living for that day when he could put a period to all of it. And after following the young woman's life, after never losing track of her, after always keeping close tabs on her, he finally perfected a plan. A plan to exact his revenge at long last. He would write a play. He would join the theater company of which the young woman, now not quite as young, was a member. He would present the play to them. What they didn't know was that this Chinese box of a play was a pretense, a sham, a ruse. And that soon he would tell the tale. Soon he would have his revenge. Soon he would reclaim his sanity, no matter the cost.
Wow, that was long, but riveting.
The question is, does the now not quite so young woman even remember the deed? She blocked it out, or was it so unimportant that she just moved on without even giving it a second thought?
So, what are you saying here exactly? This sounds like we're the people in the play. Are we? Is that what you're saying here?
Well, what is the expression? If the shoe fits.
Maybe knock it off with the metaphors.
Yeah, this is getting too weird, frankly.
I'm with Jill. Totally lost.
I'll join that party too. What is this?
What is this? Well, I guess I'm going to have to spell it out for you. Here it is in a nutshell. One of you is a murderer.
Oh there, Macaroon, just stop. Are you still telling the story of the play, or have we just gone to fantasy land here?
Based on true events should tell you all you need to know.
So, you're actually saying you, Sam Benson, new member, playwright, are accusing someone here of being the person in the play or the story you just laid on us? Is that right?
I believe you've hit the proverbial nail on the proverbial head. You may go to the head of the class.
Okay, this is creeping me out big time.
You and me both, sister.
Come on, this is just stupid now. Tell everyone this is all in the play.
You know I would, if that were true.
Well, I know it wasn't me, if any of this is true.
Ooh, process of elimination. How Agatha Christie.
Process of elimination. That's fascinating, Sam. Since you seem to be saying the man in the story is you, and the young woman in the story is a member of this theater company, there are only 4 women here who you personally wanted to be in the reading.
What super deductive powers you people have! Presuming, of course, that I'm the man in the story, the playwright. Well, that does make sense, doesn't it? So let's just say I am. And let's just say that the murderer is indeed a woman, right here in this esteemed group of players. Any takers? Anyone want to own up here? Well, it is a thriller, you see, so maybe we have to carry on the game a little longer.
Oh, joy.
Here's what I say. We either read the play now, or this meeting's done.
You don't control when this meeting is done, I'm afraid.
Oh, but I do.
Oh, but you don't. Isn't it fascinating that only one person in this room hasn't responded since I finished the tale? That's right, everyone is piped up save for one person. Isn't that fascinating? Shall I name the people who have responded so far? Well, that's easy. Here are the women in attendance. Jill, Gracie, Nancy, and Victoria.
What are we, making a list of who's responding to what now?
No list necessary. Perhaps I should just name the person. Or have you all figured it out? Or would the person simply like to, respond?
It's me. He's talking about me.
But my dear, you're not looking at your script, are you? And isn't that fascinating? Are you responding as the character of Gracie Doherty, or are you responding as the lovely actress reading the role of Gracie Doherty? Inquiring minds want to know. We'd hate for anyone to be confused.
Not me in the play, not Gracie, me here now.
Okay, I think we just entered the Twilight Zone here, folks. What is this? Seriously, what is this?
This is super confusing, even to me.
You're always confused.
Yeah, but this is...
Can we stop for a minute? Because this has gotten a little nuts. Bill, what is this really? We have people watching, and trust me, I think they really don't know what is the play and what is real. So why don't you help us all out?
This, my friends, is where the play and real life intersect. Because it would seem to me that someone just admitted they were the real life counterpart of the fictional person in the play. Doesn't it seem that way to everyone?
Can we stop this, please?
What, stop a thriller before the exciting conclusion? You can't do that to an audience.
Okay, come on. What is the game here?
No game. Well, the name of the game is, if you want to say it's a game, is the title of the play you've been reading.
Revenge?
My God, you people are smart.
I'm trying to keep all this straight. So, Bill wrote a play called Revenge based on real life events that apparently happened to him. In this play we've all been reading, there's a playwright who's written a play called Revenge based on real life events that apparently happened to him. And now we know who it was he was referencing, but I'm curious why you didn't recognize him.
Because it was a long time ago, because he didn't have a beard or a hat or glasses or sit in shadow like he has been the entire night.
Well, I didn't want to make this easy. That's part of the fun.
This isn't fun, Brian.
Brian?
His name isn't Bill Foster or whatever stupid name he used in his play. It's Brian. Brian Charles.
Oh dear, I've been outed. But she's right, of course. I've been fibbing about my name. I feel bad about that, really, but not really. I hate having two first names as a name. Why couldn't I be a Hathaway or a Miller or what I chose, a Foster? Not that any of that matters, because here we are, together again.
He's lying. It didn't happen like he said, did it, Brian?
Yes, I'm afraid it did.
Maybe in your warped mind, but not in reality.
Oh, she cuts me to the quick again. I guess some things never change.
You guys, why don't you just work this out on your own?
What fun would that be? We want to find out how the play ends, don't we? We want to know what happens, don't we? We want the thrilling conclusion to this, don't we?
So if he's lying, what really happened?
I believe I went on for quite a long time about what really happened. You can't possibly have forgotten that already.
Yes, you went on and on and on, but there seems to be another side to the story, and I think we should hear it since it's based on real life events. So let's hear it.
He's left out quite a few details from his tale, haven't you, Brian?
Have I?
You know you have.
Do I?
Did you forget to mention the part about me having to get a restraining order?
Oh dear. I did forget to put that in the play, didn't I? But you know, we have to keep the writer character sympathetic. After all, he is the victim in this drama.
Oh, you're the victim. Yeah, well, I guess in your version of the tale, in your mind, you're the victim. You're the wronged.
Right you are.
Only it's not right, as you well know. I've blocked out so much of this, but I'm telling you he's lying. He's not telling the real story.
Jesus, this is better than the play.
Well, why don't you enlighten everyone? I'm sure they'd all love to hear your fictional version of the real-life events.
It's not fictional. You've cornered the fictional market, Brian. As I said, it was a long time ago. What were we, 19, 20?
21, to be exact. Well, maybe you were 19.
It doesn't matter. I don't remember where we met, a party or something, and yes, I was a flirt back then. Everyone flirted back then. That's the way the world was, especially at parties and bars and stuff. He flirted too. He seemed nice enough, was okay looking, and he was funny. I enjoyed talking to him. Did I lead him down the garden path, as he puts it? No. But I had just broken up with someone and I was lonely, so I went out with him. But on that very first date, I noticed there was something off, something not quite right. So I kept my distance. We saw each other a few more times and it was okay. And yes, we eventually slept together, but I knew instantly it was a huge mistake. It was terrible. And he wouldn't shut up about it. How was he compared to the others? Did he compare to the others? Who were the others? How many were there? And on and on and on relentlessly. And then The endless phone calls began, asking those same questions over and over, asking when we could have sex again, wanting to come over all the time. I tried to get out of it gently, to not make a big deal out of it. I told him it just wasn't working out for me and that I wanted to date other people and that I thought it would be best if we ended it cleanly. He went berserk. He said I needed to give him another chance, that he could prove himself sexually, that I'd led him on, that I couldn't just stop things, that I owed it to him not to shut things down, and that he wanted to come over and hash it out. It was never ending.
This is a whole other play.
Shut up, Brian. Just shut up.
Far be it from me to stop this fairy tale. By all means, continue.
No, really, Bill, Brian, whatever, just shut up and let her finish.
Seriously, dude.
Oh, seriously, dude, that's telling me. Go on, let's hear the rest of it.
Then the hang-ups began. 30 or 40 times a day, the phone would ring. I'd pick up, silence, hang up. Not just during the day or the evening, but in the middle of the night. I began seeing someone else regularly. He called and made a big scene, said that he'd seen me, knew I was dating, that he would not stand for it, that it would not end well. I knew then that he was following me, that he was stalking me. I told him that he had to stop doing it for his own sake as well as mine. But it got worse, not better. Calls, hang-ups. I finally changed my phone number. After that, he'd leave angry notes on my door when I was out with my new boyfriend. Angry, unhinged, absolutely crazy notes. Sometimes he'd just show up, knocking on the door, demanding that I talk to him. I wouldn't open the door, of course. And I was done talking to him, trying to reason with him. I told him that if he did one more thing or left one more note, I would call the police.
You think anyone is buying this?
I have no idea, but it's the truth.
Your truth. I suppose you never said those horrible things to me.
Yes, I said some terrible things, some awful things just to get him to stop, to make him go away. I didn't know what else to do. I thought if I got really personal, if I got nasty, it would finally end it, but it didn't. After a few more weeks of stalking and harassment, a lawyer friend helped me get a restraining order, and that was that. I mean, I have no idea if he was still following me, but the visit stopped, the angry, unhinged notes stopped, and the contact stopped. Even with the restraining order, I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't sleep. I was nervous every time I left my apartment, got in my car, especially if I was alone. I moved to a new apartment and did it very surreptitiously. I finally felt like I could breathe, that I could live again and feel normal. I didn't see him again, thank God, until now.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. It's unbelievable.
That's not what I meant.
A tale of two tales. Who to believe?
Can we just end this now, please?
Oh, we're going to end it. Yes, that I promise you.
Hey, come on. You know, this would be bad enough if it was just us, but we got people watching.
Hey, I'd like audiences. The more the merrier, say I.
Oh, you're sick, dude.
I think people who use the word dude are sick. So, there's that.
You're not coming off well here, Bill. Or Brian.
Really? You automatically just believe the woman because she's a woman? How Me Too of you.
Now, you're being really creepy.
Shall we hear the ending of the play?
Jesus, what is wrong with you? Shall we hear the ending of the play? After all this, shall we hear the ending of the play?
Well, you can't just leave the audience hanging. It's a thriller. They need to know how things turn out, otherwise it's not a satisfying experience. I mean, what if there's an end of the play twist? A shocker moment, you know? The kind that jolts the audience right out of their chairs. You want to stop now before delivering the goods?
Yeah, sure. What's the twist going to be? I mean, we're all on Zoom. It's not like we're together. We're all in our separate homes. So I don't know what you think is going to happen. All I have to do is click end meeting.
You could do that, yes. So maybe the twist should happen right this very minute. You see, I'm not at my house.
What does that mean?
I'm not at my house.
Okay, can we stop this game?
No game, I assure you.
What do you mean you're not at your house?
I'm not zooming from my house. That's pretty easy to understand, isn't it? I just hung a sheet in back of me so it would look nondescript. Here, let me take it down for you.
Oh my god, that's my attic.
What?
Are you sure?
Am I sure? Of course I'm sure. That's my attic. He's here. He's in my house. Someone do something.
Can you get out of your house? Just leave.
Should we call 911?
Somebody do something! Does somebody have her address?
I don't.
I have the contact sheet here. I'll call.
Hurry.
Wait a minute! Where is he?
Oh my god, he's behind you!
Oh my god!
Come on.
Stop it! This is insane!
Oh my God.
Wait. No, hey.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Oh my god!
This isn't the ending I wrote.
Oh, jeez.
I am shaking so bad.
You were recording this, right?
Of course.
Right, so they're gonna see exactly what happened. She was just defending herself.
Oh, thank God she's okay.
Oh my god.
Of course she's okay.
Of course.
I'm just glad it's over.
Not quite over. Maybe it's time to come clean to our audience.
What a party pooper you are.
You died really well.
Thanks. That means a lot coming from you. Okay, spill the beans if you must.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Spill the beans.
It's a dirty job, but somebody has to do it. Ladies and gentlemen of our audience, in case you haven't figured it out yet, you've been watching a play. Not a reading of a play, an actual play. A production, a fully rehearsed and staged production of a new play conveniently entitled Revenge. Kind of a play within a play within a play. Bill Foster didn't really write it, nor is his name really Bill Foster or Sam or Brian. The real author wanted to create something especially for the world in which we're living during this pandemic. You know, having to do theater online, but he wanted it to really play to how people have to do readings and stuff like that these days. We've been rehearsing for a week, all socially distanced. Well, you can't be more socially distanced than this.
We're so devious!
We do hope you enjoyed our little sleight of hand play because we had a blast doing it. Now, since this will probably be streamed again, we do ask you to please not give away the ending. Because if you do, we'll have to kill you.
And being killed isn't all that, trust me.
Wait, are we still reading from the play?
Well, yes, the real play, not the play within a play within a play play.
Okay, that's not too confusing.
Since we really can't do an old-fashioned curtain call, let me just introduce you to our players. Linda Alsnauer, Fox Carney, Bill Foster, Sam Benson, Brian Charles, Clayton Conroy, Larry Eisenberg, Kate Hare, Clara Rodriguez, Harley Walker, and I'm Doug Haverty. And this really is a benefit. So if you can, the links are on the YouTube page. Until we meet again, do stay safe and do support theater everywhere. And let's hope we can all be together sooner rather than later in an actual theater And maybe we'll even do a thriller called Revenge.